So today we're joined with Milo from Crep Chief Notify and the Seller Circle as well. Milo, thanks for coming on, mate. Appreciate your time.
My absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Good to have you. All feeling a little bit worse for wear after last night. Everyone in Manchester, but we're good. We're ready to go again. So yeah, just for the listeners, tell us what Crep Chief Notify is. Maybe starting that business and obviously your second business as well.
Yeah, so basically, Crep Chief Notify is like fucking an online education side hustle platform. Basically, what it does is like it just teaches you how to make money from like reselling. And I'm sure like you boys was obviously like saying before, you know, it's like just like reselling Yeezys. That's where I started was like the first thing I ever resold was like a pair of Palace shorts when I was like 15. Bought them 50 quid, sold them for 100 quid the next day on eBay, and I was fucking gassed the fuck up, mate. I was like, yes, this is like what I'm on with now. And then after that, I kind of started reselling Yeezys. But Crep Chief Notify, basically, it's like an app and a Discord server, and basically what it does is it just like sends you information about like when new items are coming out that you can buy and sell for a profit, like whether it's like Hot Wheels, like fucking limited edition collectibles, all like the maddest shit that you can possibly imagine, like Pokemon, all stuff like that. With the main aim is just we're buying stuff to like sell, like resell and make a profit on, and like everything that gets posted in there is like is gonna be profitable. And you know, granted, not everything is profitable because like, you know, when something drops, you can't like gauge the supply and demand like 100% before it. But you know, everything that's posted in there is like posted with the aim to make money. But like the best thing about it is like if something doesn't resell, you can just return it. 99% of the time, you just like return it to like the place you bought it from. So let's say I buy like a limited edition Pokemon set. For whatever reason, the fucking stock numbers like before the drop, everything's like different and it's not actually reselling anymore. If within 30 days I couldn't sell it on eBay, I'll just send it back to the place I bought it for. But the place I bought it from, because we're just buying like random items. Yeah, it's literally a risk-free side hustle. And like we all, like every single post that we put out, it has all the information on there. Like are the returns like free, 30 days, are they like 30 days paid, like blah blah blah. So everyone can make that informed decision of like when they're gonna buy. And we just have like a team of specialists just like searching all day for like niche stuff, like whether it's like I don't know if he knows what like Warhammer is, but it's like this fucking super nerdy like fucking little action figure game, like whatever. But like stuff like that resells. Like,
I was about to say, how do you actually figure out? Because it's so random, like figuring out that Hot Wheels sell for more, and it's like, you know, like remember when we were doing it before, when me and Jake did it for a bit, it was like, you know, the Aldi
carrots from
like
Aldi.
Yeah. It was so random.
Kevin, that was
Mate, you buy them for like, I don't know what it was, like £11, and you send them on eBay for like a $1. It was calm, man.
Mate, profit margins on that was strong.
Yeah, it's fucking cash, mate. It's like when the Queen had a Jubilee. Like Aldi released like a limited edition collection of like Kevin and all the fucking boys and that, like fucking shit corgis and whatever. And then we were just going around to every Aldi we could and just fucking getting as many as we could and then just resell them on eBay for like 15, like 20 quid profit. But like you do that like, you know, 20 times, that's 400 quid profit. And it's like like because everyone's so like patriarchal in the UK about like the Queen, like they just fucking flew out like hotcakes, mate. And we was just fucking cleaning up. It's just super simple, but like you wouldn't think that like Kevin the fucking carrot would resell, mate. Like what a weird thing, innit?
Bad. I wonder who buys that as well. Like what was the buzz around those
collectibles, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the Queen. I don't know what it is, but Aldi, like with Kevin the carrot, like I'm pretty sure how it started was like on the Christmas ads, and this is the first time I'm pretty sure they ever resold was like. This is the weirdest chat ever, by the way, but like, you know what I mean? Like, carrot, fucking Kevin the carrot reselling history chat. But like, it was on like a Christmas ad. It was on like a Christmas ad, and that just made it pop. That just made it like well viral. And then like everyone was just like, and this is probably when you boys was in it. It was like right at the start. It was like the first like Christmas. I think it was like the first like Christmas.
Was that when it started? That was the beginning.
Yeah. So it was like the ad that did like an ad, and the ad was like massively like viral. And then for fucking whatever reason, mate, everyone just started buying them. But like the reason that all probably happened and it got super viral at that point is like because it was COVID, the economy was just like fucking doing the mega, like, you know, because everyone was at home, everyone just had loads of free cash. That was like the peak of reselling. Like the economy, like everyone just had so much liquid cash that there was somehow all right going spending 50 quid on a fucking Kevin the carrot plushie, mate, when it cost us like a tenner to buy from Aldi. Yeah, it was weird, isn't it?
So how comes obviously when a lot of people look to start on reselling trainers, then naturally a lot of, obviously I was in the reselling personal shopping route, a lot of people continue that side. So it's trainers, it's the clothing items, designer clothing or sportswear, or then watches if you can get into that, and they go that route. You obviously started on the trainers, the Yeezy and stuff, but then you've veered off to the other route of just absolutely anything. Was that kind of a conscious decision at the time, or how did you kind of drift that way instead of going the designer?
Yeah, well, basically, like, because we was like looking at it in the sense of like we want stuff that's like fast selling, like where the demand outweighs the supply, and that's like always been like a massive focus of ours. So like we was just looking for more random shit that we could resell. Like I know you boys mentioned the hot tubs briefly. Them hot tubs, mate, that was the biggest money glitch ever. Like you would just go and buy like a lazy spa and you would just flip it. Like some of them were flipping for $1,000 profit, mate, and they was just flying out the door. Like you couldn't get enough of them. It was fucked. But like we was just looking for more shit like that. We was just like, oh, how can we get more items? There must be more stuff reselling, blah, blah, blah. And then we like ended up like hiring people. Our first like ever like employee, well, our first flips like specialist, that's like what we call them. People who just look for like new flips all the time. It was this guy called Joshua, like grew up with in like high school. And he was the one who found the Kevin the Carrot. And he was in another reselling group at the start. But he was like saying that like, oh my God, I think like Kevin's going to resell, blah, blah, blah. Everyone was like, shut up. Is he going to resell? But then he sent him to us. So we was like, fuck it. If you think he's going to resell, we'll like take the gamble on it. And then when he like sent us that and we all made cash off Kevin the Carrot, we was like, Jesus, like there's got to be so much other stuff out there. So then we started like employing more people to keep searching and keep doing all that stuff. So that's basically how it happened. It wasn't a conscious decision, but it was just kind of like we just wanted more money. All we was thinking about is like, how can we make more money? How can we make people more money? That was like the main goal.
Where did you actually create CCN then?
Well, it's a bit of a fucking long story. So like when I first started reselling, the story of how I started reselling was like I was on holiday with like my next door neighbor Will, who would like he'd bought and sold like 1 or 2 pairs of Yeezys before without like a cut group, which is what CCN is it's like something called a cut group. That's like the OG name for it. So we joined this one group called like One Stop Cop, and this was like well back, like 2016, 2017, and it was like 75 quid a month. But 3 of us split the membership to make it like 20 quid each or whatever it was. And then basically we joined that, and then this was like what turned us onto the idea of it. In there was like, if you resell like 20 pairs of Yeezys a year, you're gonna be making like 30 grand, because this is when they was going like for like mad money. And in there, that was like the original version of CCN, and that's where we got the idea of the business model from. Is because in there, it's like you paid a monthly membership, they give you information on how to buy Yeezys and like any other. They would tell you about like other sneakers. So we didn't know anything really about like Jordan 1s or like all this other fucking shit. Like Pharrell Human Races, I don't know if you know, like there was like an OG shoe that used to resell. Like they knew about stuff like that, and they would tell you, and you would just basically make well more money than your membership. And then from that, we carried on doing that for a bit, and then my business partner Will, who lived next door to me, he was the one who got me into reselling. He invited me around one day, and he was like, I need to tell you something, lad. Like I've started like my own version of it. And he's like, I want you to like code for me. By the time I didn't know how to fucking code or whatever, I was like, right. So he's just like, so then that's kind of how it started. But the problem is we didn't want to get kicked out this group for like, because you couldn't run a group and be in the group at the same time, you know what I mean?
Right,
People would be like,
conflict
of interest in it.
Yeah.
Same thing if someone was in CCN now. I wouldn't let someone like, not that I would ban someone, because people just join on burners these days. Like, you know, people just go on like a different Discord account, join your server, steal all your information, and like, you just can't do anything about it, can you really? So yeah, that's how it started. He was the one who did it, and we just kind of did it behind our other friend's back a bit, which was a bit fucking bait. But like, he was just reselling on his own anyway. He didn't really have any kind of intuition, and that's how it started. Did that for 3 years. Did it in multiple different iterations. Not one time did it bang off. We had like 20, 30 people paying like 15 quid a month. And then how it started from there was, I don't know if you know who TGE is, Tom Exton. He's like a car YouTuber. Some people listening will probably know who he is. He's like a car YouTuber, and in like 2019, he was pretty big on YouTube. He had like a fucking Aventador SV, and he would like fucking bark at people out his window, and that is a fucking mad character. And he had like a pretty cult following of like, he would get like 100, 200k views on his YouTube videos, and he had a pretty cult following. And then we went to him with the idea of starting it, and he was like, yeah, fucking soundboards, we'll have 1,000, 2,000 members in no time. We was all sat there on our calculator when we got home. We was like, fucking hell, this is like fucking 40, 50 bags a month. Woo! And then that's how CCN actually started. And then he did it. Didn't necessarily bang off at the start, but then COVID happened, and it just fucking flew from like when COVID started.
That's it, that you didn't give up with it, because you knew it was going to be good.
Yeah, doing it for time.
How many members have you got in CCN today?
At the moment, right now, probably like 1,500 active, like, subscriptions, but then we got like over 1,000 lifetime people. Well, like CCN Pro, which is basically where you pay us like one big amount, you never have to pay for CCN again, and we've got over like 1,000 of them.
Wow, wicked. How much is that?
350 quid, but it's like usually 350 quid, but it's like the main price is like 500 quid in a sense, but then sometimes we'll like fucking drop the price on it and that, and we'll give it like
And what's the monthly subscription? I think it's
35
about
quid a
30,
month.
yeah, 35, yeah.
Viewers listening to this, like how scalable is doing this full time? Like how much can you make full time from buying and reselling?
Buying and reselling. So you probably, this is what I would say to people though, like the maximum you can make, like realistically, if you take it to like a good level and you're a proper churner and you're doing everything manually, you can probably make like $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month. Like, but that's really going really fucking hard. Like that's really maxing it out, like pushing it to the limits. That's what but then I'd say the average person probably earns like 1 to 2K from it. But then what happens is you get times of like ultra profitability. So you're like, I don't know if you probably don't have a clue about it, but like about a year ago, Airfryers was like a mad thing. They were sold out everywhere, and each one was like reselling for like, some was like 90 quid to buy, they would resell for 200 quid, but the amount of sales on these was just like fucking through the roof. Some of them was reselling for like 150 quid, 200 quid profit, and people back then was making like, some people was making like 10 grand a month from it. But you get these times
like
of
trends,
like,
basically,
yeah, that was like a 3-4 month period where you literally could have made 10 grand a month. But then it kind of starts, and then it kind of like, just goes through mad peaks and troughs.
When I was doing it, I was making at least $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
But I had it at really good times. So I had the PlayStations,
Yeah.
the Xboxes, and the hot tubs as
Yeah,
well.
like,
And Kevin.
I remember like the date. I can't remember some.
There was like
Nivea
Lego and
some-
stuff. Like, it's all random shit.
Nivea data. I don't know, some gaming fucking thing.
Oh yeah, the graphics cards.
That's it, graphics cards. That was it.
Graphics,
was
yeah,
selling
they
would-
were the
you'd
most
make 500,
profitable
600
thing I
quid
think
off
I
each
had.
one.
Yeah, the graphics
You pay
cards
more
were
for it,
mad.
but you can double your money easy.
But
The hot tub one was mad as well, because I just remember you couldn't buy hot tubs; they were sold out everywhere. I mean, you started a business.
Yeah, I started the business on the back of it. So I actually started my travel consultancy. That's what I do. I have an agency. And I left my job during COVID to start the travel agency up. And obviously, no one's fucking traveling anywhere. So, I knew it was going to come back. So I was just, I had money. I was fine. And, just thought, let me try out a few different things. We started our rent-to-rent business during that time. But to keep me going, I used Crep Chief Notifier pretty much to do all the reselling. And then with the hot tub, so obviously I've realised that you can't get hot tubs anywhere. During COVID, everyone's at home. Everyone wants something to do. Like, you can't leave your house pretty much. So my partner's cousin, he had a van. I was like, should we just go and rent these out to people? And we were fully booked. We bought 2 in the end. But obviously we couldn't really keep up with it, really, because you've got to go set it up. And there's only just 2 of us, and I was just going and doing that. And we just made good money off the back of that.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Got me through.
You can start like a business off the back of it. Like, one thing I always think about it is like, it's probably that I reckon, from what I know, I don't know if you boys know anything else really, probably one of the easiest side hustles that anyone can start. It's so fucking simple. All you do is buy an item, list it on eBay. Everyone's got an eBay account. You sell it for a profit. It's fucking as basic as it comes, really. And I think it's good for people who, like, let's say you're in a 9 to 5 or whatever, or you want to start something, but you might have started drop shipping, or you might have started SMMA or something, and they are much harder side hustles. It's harder to get your wins. You could do them for 2-3 months, not make a dime, but you can do reselling and make money within like your first couple of weeks, and like you'll be motivated to do it. So like, it's the best beginner side hustle. That's what I always say, and it's risk free. It's like, what can like. It's like, you obviously got like match betting, but like match betting,
I've done that as well.
You can't make mad dough from it, can you? You can make like a couple hundred.
No,
quid.
you can first off make money because you get the free bets. Yeah, you get the free bets
yeah.
account. But once you drain those, I mean, I got denied a mortgage because they thought I was a gambling addict. I had like 10 grand going in and out. Because you're making all these transactions, and they basically
how
I
you
was
fix
trying to get
that?
an investment property. And they
That's the unspoken fucking rule of match betting. mate.
PayPal. You need to use PayPal, and it won't show. It will just you can link.
Well,
your
yeah, but
PayPal
I had
to the,
literally like 10 grand going in and out.
Yeah, but
I was
that's
only
what I mean.
making like, maybe off of that, I was probably making like 400 or 500 quid.
Mad.
Like, you have to place all these bets to make it happen. But one thing I was going to say as well, the best thing, obviously, for anyone listening to actually start this, is you could just get a credit card. You don't, because obviously with the PlayStations and Xboxes, they're like 500 quid a go. And I was trying to buy, if you're trying to buy 5, 6 at a time, it's a couple of grand. But don't use your own money. get a credit card,
get an Amex as well, get your points, get free flights
exactly, get it on your points. Like, doesn't, like you say, it don't cost you anything. It's got 30-day payment terms on it anyway.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, I would obviously use a credit card to buy everything that like I buy if it's like possible to use it. But obviously, if you've got no fucking money, don't go out and get a credit card because you're just gonna fuck yourself. There's a chance that you can fuck yourself over, mate. Like, I wouldn't say that. You know what I mean? Like, you get people are like asked to join. Like, yeah, I got 20 quid to my name.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you know what, mate? Like, you probably need to go out, get a bit of a job first, get a couple hundred quid together, then come back. And that's my only like gripe with credit cards. If you've got money in the bank and you've actually got like you're a bit of a sustainable person, then by all means, I would use. If it was me, I would use a credit card.
If you're only using it for Crep Chief notify stuff, it's absolutely fine. When you fuck yourself over is when you start spending it on shit you don't need.
Yeah. But I like, as an actual piece of advice, like, and life advice, I recommend like, you should get a credit card. Like, you know, unless you're a fucking DJ, mate, and you're gonna go boozing on it and whatever, like, and you know, or like gambling or like mad shit, then don't get one. But like, if you're actually like on the straight and narrow, then use one. So you boys mentioned about like Amex points, like,
yeah, it's sick.
It's like to go to like Dubai, like business class, is like 82,000 Amex points or something. And like, do you have like mad deals and stuff? Like, a life hack for like Amex is, the other day I went on there and I wanted some more points because I'm going to Dubai, so I wanted to like upgrade my flights to like thingy, and I needed like an extra like 20,000 points. So I went on there and I was like, yeah, I've been using another credit card, you know, which I do have another credit card as well. I was like, yeah, I'm using another credit card, you know, I'm wondering if there's any incentives for me to stay with Amex. And they're like, yeah, if you spend £1,000 within the next 3 months, we'll give you 25,000 Amex points as like a bonus. So I was like, yep, I'll fucking take that. And obviously I'm going to spend £1,000 on my Amex, and like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to do that.
Do you know the PayPal hack with Amex?
I do,
that's
but Bookie one. Explain
you know, someone
that.
who actually told me from Amex that worked there told me to do it. They were
Really?
like, so literally just obviously sign up to PayPal, put your Amex card on it, send money to somebody like your mate, and then you'll get the points for it. Like,
Yeah.
I do it all the time, to be fair.
And how to get the money back around?
So like, literally, I'll just send the money. I'll just
Do it on
I'll just
friends
send the
and
money
family.
to Alex, 5k, and then she'll send it to me, and I'll just pay
Mate,
it
you're
back
gonna
off.
get that put.
It's gonna get
to a
patched,
stop.
bro.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it's gonna get patched. Well, I might do that, you know. If you've got, once you've got a big
easy.
credit limit on there, mate, you fucking get that
He
shit.
said,
Woo!
he said he's got builders that do up to like 10, 15k a month doing that, like just solely doing
my
that.
God.
But I mean, I do like about 5k, it's 5,000 points.
Does
And
sound a little bit booky.
it's not
Yeah.
illegal, innit? It's probably just.
I can
frowned
see your
upon, I
Amex
guess.
maybe getting taken off
Yeah.
if like worse comes
Yeah,
to
you're gonna
worse.
get cancelled by Amex,
Yeah,
mate.
mate.
But you can really explain it, just like, I don't know. It's on the fucking. It is what it is.
How many members did you have at the height of CCN?
5,500.
5,500.
Yeah.
Paying 30.
Paying 30 quid a month.
Anyone good at
That's
maths?
No.
Decent.
That's like
yeah.
100. Is that 150k?
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
A month.
Yeah. But that was like, and then we had fucking no expenses, bro. We had an office like where we like our parents lived, 500 quid a month, bro. I tell you, back then we didn't have a fucking clue what I was doing, and this is the power of like right place, right time in business. Like, we didn't have a fucking clue what I was doing. We didn't have donkey's fucking ass, mate. Like, it was literally, we would get to the office, we would smoke fucking shisha all day, bro. It's the weirdest shit ever. We'd smoke shisha all day, and we'd just be fucking caning the cash in, and we'd be playing like Skate 3 on the Xbox. Like, you know, it was mad, but like, because the business was like, the product was so good, and like, it's so many things just aligned like perfectly. Like, we'd just be sat there all day just smoking shisha, doing a bit of work here, like obviously working, but like, I wouldn't say like I've worked so much harder over the last like year or two than I've like ever worked then. And we'd be sat there like on the Xbox just like, we'd be like, oh, like we had like, because it was on Shopify then, we'd just be hearing like ding, 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 and we just sat there like doing the transfer on Skate 3, mate, just like fucking around, bro. It was a mad
Living the
times,
dream,
bro.
man. So how would you say? Obviously, I hope you don't mind me saying, you're quite young and you've experienced a high level of success at an early age. Like, how has that kind of turned up your lifestyle?
You still play doing shisha all day.
Nah, I'm a fuck, bro. Like, now, bro, I'm probably the most dialed I've ever been in my whole life, bro. Like, how it's affected my lifestyle. Obviously, I love fucking cars, bro. Like, got a McLaren.
Pulling up in a McLaren today.
I love fucking cars, mate. Living like a fucking penthouse and that. Like, it's fucking, like, life's just good, bro. And I think, like, you know what I mean? It takes a while to get there, and like, but for me, that's what I wanted. Like, I would see, when I was like 16, I'd see a Lambo go past, and I'd be like, fucking can't wait to have one of them one day. You know what I mean? Like, I was just that like gassed up for it. And I think, you know, it is, and I have like general like thoughts on like life. And now, like, people say that social media is bad, but I think social media is like, a good aspect of social media is like, imagine 30 years ago when there was no social media or whatever, and you had like role models in a sense. Like you didn't necessarily know anyone firsthand who was driving around in like a supercar or living a sick life, and you couldn't aspire to be them if like you didn't, if social media didn't exist, because you would just see celebrities on TV, but there was no like, when you like someone's like a YouTuber or whatever, you can proper like generate like rapport with them. It's almost like you know them in a sense, like to a time, and you get to really like them, and I think that allows you to like, there's more inspiration like readily available now, which I think is a massive part of it, and like more people giving you the source. Like before, it's like, that's why like families, like generational wealth, like, and like wealth in families works like that. At school, they don't teach you that you can go out and start a business and that'll make you like rich. Like they don't teach you that. Like the only way you would necessarily know that is through a family member before like the age of the internet. Like, you know what I mean? Someone would have to tell you like, oh, you know, like, I'm just going to give you a secret life hack here. Like, you know, just start your own business, just work hard at it. And if you just stick at it, you're going to be successful.
How does the tech work behind the scenes? So for anyone that doesn't understand how it works, is you get a notification sent to your phone when these come in stock. So like, I've used PlayStation as an example. I would get my phone and I'd get a ping from Game. Would you know how it works? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So you sign up, get the ping, and then you've literally got to rush on there straight away and then type in your card details, bang, put it in. Sometimes it loads and doesn't work, it's already gone. And sometimes the pings are false. So how, like, obviously you said you didn't know how to code. Like, how does that work behind the scenes?
So the way it works is, it's so fucking simple. Like, you people like sometimes like, you know,
Sounds complicated.
Yeah, it sounds complicated, but it's really not. Basically, like, the way you gotta look at it is like, what does a human do to like check whether a product's in stock on the website? The easiest way is to go on there and see if you can add it to your basket. If you can add it to your basket, then you fucking know there's a really high chance that it's going to be in stock. But so that basically that's what you got to do. You basically just make like a programming, like a computer program. That basically all it does every day, every second, goes on the website, tries to add it to the basket, and if it can add to the basket, then it's in stock. That's it. Ping. Yeah, and then it sends a ping to everyone. It's so simple to do. But like you said then about like false pings, sometimes an item will come in stock on a website, and it will be able to add it to your basket, but then the next page is not in stock. And that's like where the false pings come in. And sometimes you can't avoid that. Or they might drop like for example, Amazon. Like Amazon might like put like one stock on, and then a bot gets it. But then every time it makes the monitor ping. Shit like that. Like, you can't get around. But that's basically how it works.
Do you ever use bots when you're buying stuff? Have you?
Yeah, it was. I owned a bot. That was my first big business success. At one point, was I had like I made my own bot. It was called Kick Raffle Bot. It was like you know, like how to like get sneakers. You went to like raffles. Yeah. Basically, what we did was we just entered raffles like hundreds of times with like the bot, and that was like my first big success. And I actually remember like CCN hadn't started at this point. It was just like I'd been doing like other shit, like selling monitors, like other shit cut groups and whatnot. And then I made this raffle bot, which basically the biggest success for it was like the JD raffle. So like when Yeezys was coming out, it would just enter loads of times for Yeezys, and then we'd be winning like hundreds of pairs. Like me and like the lad who like, I did it with, like who was like Will, who's like a business partner at CCN, we won hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pairs of shoes from it. But like that was like my biggest success, and I actually remember like it was like a 1 month thing. Like literally started it like, and then 1 month later we like sold it. The first drop made 17k in like a minute, and we was like, I fucking remember it like it was yesterday, bro. It was the best feeling in the fucking world, bro. Like I remember I like refreshed the PayPal, and it was like boom, 17 grand, and I was on the phone to him, and it was like, bro, like we fucking done it. Like it was just like one of the best feelings in the world.
They all right. They didn't cancel the orders or nothing.
No, so this was like selling the bot to other people.
Oh, sorry, yeah, got you.
But yeah, the bot was like completely fine, and we won like so many shoes from it. One time, like.
So that's what 17 grand come from?
Yeah, selling the bot to like a group of people who was resellers. But we obviously resold shit tons of Yeezys for it. Like we would.
Do you wish you kept the bot?
I remember I've paid for bots before when I was reselling. I used to have to, but yeah, there was people. I don't think you, but yeah, I paid people.
You didn't pay 17 grand for one, no.
I didn't pay that much, no. But you just would pay. I can't remember.
You pay a couple $100.
Yeah, and then they'd it was sick.
What happened to the bot?
Ran it for like a year or two. And then eventually I just closed the business down, because what happened was, like, I'll be open and honest, I'm a shit coder. There's people out there who then, I was just very early to the market with raffle bots, so that's why my business boomed the fuck off. But then people came to the market who was like been coding for 20 years. They worked for like, you know, massive companies. They was like fucking wizards at it, mate. And I couldn't compete with them. So my bot kind of just fizzled out and whatever. And I tried to like remove myself from the code and get other people to code it from it. The business just kind of like died.
I got ya.
Just died. But at the start, it was really good. But yeah, that's basically how the fucking software works.
So what you said now that you've been working hard, obviously the last year or two, what's sort of your day to day, what's the setup, what you're working on? Have you got a big team?
Yeah, so basically the team is like kind of trying to think how many people that work for us. Probably like 20 plus people work for us part time. Like they're like kind of like contractors. They do like the niche things. Like some of them are flip specialists, some of them are like lead providers. Like across all my companies, it's probably like 20 to 30 people part time. Then full time, there's probably like 7 people, 6-7 people maybe.
Remote or in the office?
No, so in the office there is 5 of us. 5, so there's like my lads, and then there's like 5 like actual employees like on payee, like working for us. 3 of them are editors. One of them like runs CCN. Like he's called Tino. Some people listening might know who he is. He like runs CCN. He like oversees the whole running of the group. Like make sure the product actually like runs. Like deals with all the staff, support staff, flips, all that shit. Deals with all that. And there's another lad in the office as well who's called Alex, and he's like the head person for finding flips at CCN. And he like oversees the other lads who work for us finding flips, and he like does. He's like the main one in charge of like putting information out about like what's coming out and what's buying and selling.
And 3 editors, what, like video editors?
Yeah,
just
so
for your content.
Only 1 for CCNs, 1 editor for CCN, and then there's 2 editors for Seller Circle.
So tell us about Seller Circle then. What that is. And
Seller Circle, very similar to CCN, just for Amazon FBA. You basically there's this thing called online and retail arbitrage. Basically, that's the membership side of it. You go out to stores, buy products on like discount, clearance, and then just resell them on Amazon for profit. Very similar to CCN, different type of product. It's not limited edition usually. Usually it's just like differences in prices. It's like, think how much like Tesco buy products for. Tesco probably buy a product for incredibly cheap in it. They will like, if they need to get rid of a product, they'll just whack that shit down to the price they bought it for. Then people will go out there, buy that product and resell that on Amazon. But because Tesco's got such high buying power, they get shit so cheap. When they put a product on clearance to get rid of it, that is like a price. It's like basically like buying from like the world's biggest wholesaler. Like it's like you're the world's biggest wholesaler for a little bit in a sense, because you can never compete with like Tesco's like buying power.
We had Jack Hammers on FBA on episode a couple of months ago. He used to work for Tesco, right? So he would reduce the items in Tesco and he'd buy like 25 Xboxes.
Yeah.
And then he'd sell them on. He said it's sick because he was controlling the market. Like he'd reduce shit, buy it, sell it on. It's crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, it's mad. So that's like what that is, and that's like a really like lucrative opportunity for like beginner Amazon FBA sellers. Probably where a lot of people start. I don't know Jack's story, but I wouldn't be surprised if he started somewhere around there as well. Then people like usually go into wholesale, which is where you go out and buy like products from brands that like already sell organically on Amazon, like, and then you just go out buy them from wholesalers. Or like the best place to buy them from is the brands directly. That's where you're gonna get the cheapest price. So you go to like the brand directly. You would buy like, let's say you're buying Fairy Liquid. You buy hundreds of bottles of Fairy Liquid, sell them on Amazon. Fairy Liquid already sells thousands of times a month on Amazon. You don't have to do a single bit of marketing. The only thing that really matters for Amazon FBA is getting the products at the right price, and that's the hardest thing. So people usually go into wholesale. They usually start buying from like wholesales and whatever. And at Seller Circle, we offer like a wholesale mentorship. So it's like £1,000 course. People just buy it and you go into wholesale Amazon FBA, make money from there.
Was it a pre-recorded course that teaches
Seller Circle's pre-recorded,
and
yeah.
you got the community as well.
Yeah, so like you pay £1,000, then you basically get like lifetime access to support, like one-on-one support with like, you know, wholesale Amazon FBA seller experts, and then you also get the course which just covers literally like everything you need to know.
so what kind of numbers do people tend to make? And you said obviously with the reselling, it can be, most people make at least sort of £1,000. If you do really well, you can make £3,000-4,000. What about on the FBA when they're starting? And also, what's the jump going from the products like, you know, what you advertise from Tesco and stuff to when you then start doing the wholesale?
So with Amazon FBA, it just depends on how much money you've got, really. How much money you've got and how much time you've got. There's no real ceiling. It's not like with like CCN and reselling where there is actually a cap. There's no real cap. It's just about how much time and money you've got to put in there. If you've got 100 grand, you can make like 30 grand a month profit. Because like as long as your 100 grand's turning over every month, like you're buying products that are selling really fast. So it just depends. It's just like usually works on like 20-30% ROI. So like, you know, if you buy 100 grand's worth of products, they are selling a month, you're gonna make 20-30 grand profit. Like, and then obviously you've got like your operating costs, which, you know, totally depends on like how you run your business.
I think what you've done is really clever, actually. So the viewers listening, I think one of the best side hustles you can do is buying and reselling. And it's like you said, it mitigates the risk knowing you can send those items back after 30 days, right? So your community, where are you trying to take it? Are you looking to scale the roof off? Do you want to get to a certain cap and maybe stay where you are? Or
I think that's the most undecided question that I have right now in my own head. Like, I'll tell you what I'm at, like, business-wise right now. Almost like lost in a sense, bro. Like, we've got this business that's successful, but it's like, how do we get to the next level? And that's the thing that I've like struggled with the most over like this last like year or two. It's like, where are we taking it? Where should we go with it? You know what I mean? Like, and what are the next steps to get there? But I genuinely don't really know. I don't think that like the right idea of CCN is get 5,000 members again. Or maybe if it is, then I don't think it could necessarily facilitate that right now. I don't know if the product's like not good enough, but like 1,000 quid to most people probably isn't worth like, you know, doing in a sense. Like when people have got 9 to 5s and that, there's not real, like granted when it was like the PS5 days, everyone was making fucking coin. Like everyone was making absolute bank. But now it's like, where's the product, you know, you can only like, and don't get me wrong.
They'll come back though. They'll be the next PlayStation.
But it's not sustainable. Like it's just keeps going through peaks.
Yeah, you can't make a career out of it. In a sense.
I think it's good to teach you just business skills, though. You know what I mean? Like we've all like kind of done it.
We were doing it without like CCN before. We were doing like iPhones and like say Yeezys and stuff like that, and just because we thought in our heads.
Then CCN opens your eyes to like the other stuff that you never think of. Do you know what I mean? Right, isn't it right now? I was seeing there's people flipping furniture from Facebook.
Yeah, so that's like a recent thing that we started. There's this guy called Tom Flips, and he was like, he's like, so we've like partnered up with him, and fair play to the guy, mate. He's a fucking animal. Like he's a king churner. Like he literally day in, day out, fucking smashes it out of the park, and he just flips like couches. But I can't even explain how much money's in fucking flipping couches. You know, like you wouldn't understand. Like you just have to see it, mate.
Is he clean them? He picks them up, cleans them. Is he?
So basically, what happens is, right? Think about like someone's got a new couch coming from DFS, or they're moving house or whatever, and they don't want the couch anymore. They just need to get rid of that couch fucking ASAP.
Yeah, but we had that, didn't we?
Yeah,
exactly. So you take shit photos of it. You don't have a fucking clue how much your couch is worth. You quick photo of it, you put it on Facebook for 100 quid. Then these flippers message you and they're like, oh, you know, blah, 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 blah. They negotiate the price down to like 20 quid or free. Like, yeah, if you need it gone, mate, I'll fucking come pick it up, blah, 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 blah. They come pick it up. They take it home. They like clean it, whatever. Like minor shit. You don't even have to clean them really most of the time. Like, you know, no one's couches are real. Like, look at these couches there, mate. You could fucking flip them on, no problem. Don't even need cleaning really. You give them a quick fucking vacuum, whatever. You retake good photos, good lighting, and then you just fucking whack them back on Facebook for like 300, 400 quid. And then they just fucking flip same day. Like so same day, next day.
With our rent-to-rent business, we've been in situations where we've actually been trying to give them away for free because it's going to cost us money.
Sometimes you have to pay to actually
get
someone to take
it
away.
Get rid of it.
Yeah, that's actually mad.
What did we do in the end? We just leave them there.
We left one of them there, but I think we got charged for it. It's bad
Exactly,
idea.
so it cost us money.
Bad for business.
Like when we was trying to find a sofa for the podcast, wasn't we looking at sofas? And I looked at the same thing, and it's some are free, some are like 50 quid, some are 100, and then you've got ones that are just selling for a few £100s, and it's like
I guess what you want
they
in
all
that
just
market
look the
is-
exact same. Like, what's the difference in it? Unless you know your sofas, like
You want your desperate sellers who just need it gone. Like, you know, they're the guys that will give it away for free, and then you can flip and make a lot of dough. Back to the McLaren, right? One of the sexiest cars I've ever seen. When you pulled up, I was like, wow, that's actually a Batmobile. How old were you when you got the McLaren?
22. Yeah, I only had it about a year ago. 22.
So your first supercar?
Yeah, in a sense where it's like you're properly my own. Like when we first moved to Manchester, like we only had like one car. Like we got rid of all our cars and we just had like my boy had an R8, so we just kind of fucking split the payments on the R8. So I had that for a little bit. But yeah, fucking crazy.
That's
mate.
it though. You can just sit. I think it's so sick that you're just with your friends. Like you fucking live together. You're hustling all the time, sharing McLaren. Like you can. It's sick. I rate it so much.
It gets me a loop thinking because we talk about it every day getting Lamborghini Uruses, but instead of both getting Uruses, one should get a Rari, the other should get a Urus, and we could
Swap
share
it.
it.
Yeah, defo. I reckon like if you got a business with your boys, why would you not fucking split the cost of everything? Like,
Yeah.
it makes complete sense because you don't want to, like, as soon as you, like, you could not drive from McLaren every day. You'd be fucking miserable as fuck, mate. Like, when it's raining and they're horrible cars. Like, they fucking creak like fuck. They're just annoying as, like, unless it's, like, the right day for it and, you know, you're actually, like, in the mood to, like, actually drive it, then it's a bit of a shit car. And it's just a ball. You can't really see fuck all. Like I mentioned to you boys, as I was parking, like, here, it's like, I was thinking, like, underground car parking or, like, a fucking multi-story. I'd rather fucking die than take that car in there because it's just, there's no sensors, there's no nothing. Like, you can't see shit. It's such a shit car, like, on a car, like, sense.
Does it feel like when you hit a pothole?
Do you know what? It's not too bad. I got an X4M as well. That's the suspension in that car is fucking abysmal. Like, it, like, rocks, like, side to side. Honestly, I can't explain it. That's the worst thing about that car. It's like for, like, an SUV, the suspension is just fucked on it. The McLaren's probably got better suspension.
Wow, that's crazy. I think you hear a lot as well when entrepreneurs, like, young, hit a high level of success. Sometimes they get to a stage where, like, they're not sure what else, like, what next, because if you hit success early, it's kind of like you completed the game in a sense, I guess, right? So have you ever kind of experienced that? Or
Nah, if anything, the thing that I can see how you'd hit that though, but I feel like for me to hit that, I would have to have, like, a lot of money, like, where I couldn't, like, not spend it, but, like, I had, like, everything, you know what I mean, like, and I see how people get there, like, you know, like Aiden Ross in a sense, like, I feel like he's probably been there in his time. When you've completed life, like, what else do you fucking do? And that's why a lot of people, like, go off the rails, innit? They start boozing or doing drugs or just, like, you know, they end up doing stupid shit, like, because there's nothing to live for anymore. And I think, like, these times now where you are, like, trying to make it to, like, the fucking top are probably, when you're older, you're going to be looking back like, boys, do you remember them times? Those are the fucking best times, you know? You had, like, such purpose, such reason to wake up out of bed in the morning. But, like, when you've completed life, like, I guess you need to find, like, other purpose after that. But I think, like, to get to that level, I would need, like, a substantial amount of money. Like, right now, I just want to make, like, £1 million a month.
What would you spend that money on?
£1 million a month?
Yeah.
Whoa, I don't know, mate. I'd fucking spend it though, I'll tell you. Well, I wouldn't spend it. I'd invest a lot of it to, like, so I never... I
invest in now?
Nah, not really. Like, I a little bit here and there buying, like, watches and shit, but I wouldn't say, like, just reinvest in the business more than anything. But not, like, property or anything like that.
Yeah, no.
Nah. Because I also think, like, I don't know the crap... Well, I actually went to a property event yesterday. That's why I was in London. And that fucking blew my head off, like, to be fair. But, like, that feels like something that I wouldn't necessarily need to do. Like, I'd need, like, I couldn't do that now. I feel like if I did that now, I'd just shoot myself in the foot. Like, I should, like, work on growing these, like, brands that I've already got and growing these businesses that I've already got and, like, going that way rather than, like... I feel like the way that I look at property at the moment, it's a bit like not like a side hustle, but, like, a little bit like a side hustle in a sense. I don't know what you boys think.
What was the
like,
event you went to yesterday?
It was like a rent-to-rent one.
Okay, cool.
And shit like that. But...
Kind of reselling in a way.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Really,
It's the same thing. It's like, but, like, I don't necessarily know how to, like, invest property like that where it, like, makes money in a sense. Like, I guess I'd need a partner in it, like someone to do the rent-to-rent shit or, like, service combination or HMO or, like, whatever it is where you actually get, like, banging returns or, like, renovations and shit. But I couldn't now, like, do that. I just don't get the time, really. Like, what are you supposed to do? I don't know. You boys can probably help in it. Like,
he started getting really badly targeted by a group of prostitutes.
mad.
3 months, bro. They turned our flats into knock-in shops, and they were buying the rooms off, like, frauded details. And what they done is they boarded up all the windows. They boarded up the windows of, like, plastic bags. They got the sofa bed out, so that was a brass room, and the 2 bedrooms, leaving, like, vodka cans everywhere. Oh, bro, the stains on the sofa. Like,
and one time they checked out. They put the keys back. So they checked out, but
they didn't put the keys back.
They didn't put the keys back. And then the cleaner went there, cleaned, and after the cleaner left, they went back and no one was checking in, so we didn't know they were back there. And then on the Saturday, like 2 days later, guests gone, the keys aren't there. We got on the spares. They've gone in, and yeah, they're just brassing up.
Still in there, brassing up.
And do you know how we found out?
Yeah,
We found out because
man.
a guest who actually paid for the room, right, showed up, and the brass opened the door. And she called me. She's like, "I think there's prostitutes in your flat."
Oh
like,
my
what?
god,
What?
bro.
It was really bad.
Did they leave a review?
No,
You know what I'm saying?
luckily not.
That's the most maddish review you could ever get.
The thing is with the
that ain't
prostitutes,
good,
Showed
bro.
up for my holiday and there was a prostitute in there.
I had to deal with it really
Big
well.
orgy,
Like,
man.
Yeah, but they
Jesus, bro.
refused to stay there, didn't they?
Yeah,
Like,
Sam was
like-
straight there as soon as he found out.
Uh,
Sort out.
the thing is, like,
Take him over the team, lads.
prostitutes can be good clients as long as they respect the place, right? Like, we
Yeah.
wouldn't have
There was
known.
loads of
They
Ann
should-
Summer rappers like everywhere, like
Fucking
Yeah.
fags everywhere.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
bad. I think rent to rent as a whole, like, you can
That's
make
fun.
money from it, but the turnover's high and the profit margins are low.
And it's a 24-hour business.
24
like you're
hours.
getting clients at fucking like 1
Yeah.
in the morning sometimes, calling you about noise from other flats.
Yeah, fuck that.
It's one of them things that just was very just I'm sure a lot of people, some people have had great success, and especially when they first got into it, but then do you know what I think it is? I think it stems from the big property training companies that are trying to get people through the door. They don't want to say, right, actually you need £500,000 to invest, and if you've got that, come and pay us 5 grand, 10 grand. They want to instead say, no, you don't need any money. You just need to, it's simple. You just message a few people, you da-da-da-da-da. They market it very, and it's all true.
It's
But at the
entry
same
level
time,
into
they're
property,
just
innit?
really pushing it, probably selling it a lot better than it is, because they want to sell training courses. They want to get you in. They want to say, oh, it's easy nowadays. Just rent to service accommodation, make 5 grand, no money to get started. Come join our program. And that's why now you've got fucking 10,000 people all trying to do it.
Yeah.
hearing
If you own the
about
property,
it.
it's definitely better, because like it's the rent. When you're doing rent to rent, you're paying the rent, which is quite high anyways, and then you got to make money off it. But if you got a mortgage, sometimes the mortgage will be half of the rent, and you actually there we go, you're making loads of money for
Do
it.
you know what it is as well, bro? It's like you said, like there's times where things pop off. Like when we got involved in rent to rent, it was sick because it was COVID, no one could travel. So what are people doing? They're going on staycations,
Yeah,
innit?
but we had them all
So-
in Brighton, you know. Brighton,
Yeah,
down
bro.
south.
Yeah, so we done really well off 2. We were making decent money. Well, we thought we were making decent money. But then we decided to get 6, right? And the difference between running 2 to 6 is fucked up, man.
Yeah.
Like, the business has actually lost money, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah. It's,
Mad.
we're like 30k in a
Because
hole.
the furniture and stuff, like we're fucking buying, like you've got to furnish the whole thing, kit up, and then by the end of it, we're giving them back. Like, it's not worth anything.
Mad.
We gave away all the fucking furniture.
I wouldn't advise.
What do you recommend then for someone, like, let's say someone's got like, so someone doesn't want to do like rent to rent, like, because obviously rent to rent, like it's exactly what you said. Sounds to me like a side hustle. It's like a full-time thing, you know. You proper just like, actually like involved with it.
Yeah.
Like, what do you reckon's more of like a passive way to do it?
We had this conversation on the way up yesterday. I was saying to Jake, I said, I think if you're just getting started, so BRR essentially, which is buy, renovate, or refurbish,
Like homes
buy,
under the hammer,
refurbish,
Yeah.
rent out and refinance it, right? And then if you can get all your money back out or most of it, then that's a good deal. But I said, if you don't know, and you can do that into a HMO and stuff like that, there's different options there to try and then get more cash flow. But I think the first, if you're not too sure, I think the first one is just do a flip, because you get a tick. So don't try and tick too many boxes. If you're trying to be in property and make good money, you need to understand finance and your different finance options and how to raise finance, whether it's bridging loans, obviously there's mortgages and stuff like that. But if you just do a flip and you don't go too big, right, you get to deal with buying a property it's quite different when you're buying an investment property to residential. So you get to use, how the solicitors work, how the quick completions work. If you did use a bridging loan, then you get to understand how the finance works, and then you get to use a build team. You understand how that works, doing the refurbishment. If it's local, fine, but otherwise, if it's in a different area, like for us, we like to invest obviously up north a lot of the time. Yeah. So it's like you then get to see how it works doing something not near to your home, and you're ticking all of those boxes. But if you just do it on a much smaller scale and think, right, I'm going to just do from a 1 to a 2 bed, try and make 40 grand profit, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, whatever it takes, before trying to go too complicated. Like we were saying yesterday, I said to Jake, because he's looking to start doing process, that even doing to the HMO, that's just doing the refinance, that's a whole different, that's another box you've got to try and understand. The HMO is another box you've got to try and understand with the fire rigs and everything in terms of the build cost, as well as if you need planning permission, like all of these things. There's so many boxes that I think just try to make it as simple as possible to start with. Do a flip, make some money. You could just keep doing that anyway, but then you'll understand, and then the next deal you start looking at, you'll be able to see realistically in your own experience will the numbers stack to then refinance and draw the money out, you know. So I think start on a flip, then ultimately if you want to build a portfolio, move to the BRR, which is actually then holding on to the assets and refinancing, or just, you know, it depends how much money you got. Flips obviously then allow you to accumulate more cash. When you've got more cash, you can do bigger deals. You can do the refinance option where you're then holding on to the asset and you still got good money to keep reinvesting. So I think they're the two options, but I'd say just a bit more traditional, really.
I mean, something me and Luke are talking about doing at the end of this year is buying a 1-bed flat, right? It's a lot less money than buying a house, renovating it into a 2-bed flat and then selling it as a 2-bed. We had a really interesting guy called Kazi on our podcast, and that's his model. Like, bro, he makes so much money from it.
Yeah, he's
really does so well from that.
One thing, like, for advice,
just quickly on that though, like, so for example, if you're like to buy, you know, a 1-bed flat, turn into 2-bed flat, like, how passive is that though? You know, because you first got to like fucking, you know what I mean? Like, how passive actually is
I don't think
that?
anything's passive.
But like, that's what I mean. Like,
you
how
could
passive?
actually be passive if you find somebody who's got experience, right? Because that's probably what you're looking for. Somebody who's got all the knowledge. You can do a JV with them.
I'll JV with you if you want me.
As people say, property is passive. It's bollocks. It's like you said. I don't think anything's passive. We thought rent to rent was going to be passive. It's the most unpassive thing in the world.
I say my buy to let is actually the passive, but right now it's the more. I generally don't do anything. Like, I speak to my tenants once a year. Like, if there's a problem, I'll just go and get it fixed because it's my property. Well, I don't want it fixed. Like, I don't do anything. But again, like, obviously now mortgage rates are mad high, so not really making any money, much money from it. But obviously the price of the property goes up. But that is 100% the only passive thing I've ever done in my life.
And the thing is, you only have to do work once as well. So like, even the one I'm buying now, it's been a bit of stress, but you know, you just got to do this once. Then I've got to do this again. This is a light refurb. We're only going to spend probably like 30,000-40,000 in total.
On 6 as well, right?
On 5.
5, yeah.
Yeah, so I should be completing tomorrow, not tomorrow, Monday. Completing on 3 on Monday and then 2 within the next couple of weeks. And but that's one. It's a Victorian property, but it's been converted already into 5 flats.
Yep.
So it's one roof for 5 properties, which is what I want. I want to then, as many dwellings, which is the individual properties, but as little roofs. So the next one I want to try and do a block of like 9 and stuff like that. And at the minute, because of the whole interest rates, because of the recession, it's so good because the type of people buying these and the type of people that currently own them, I tend to be obviously much larger property investors. And so now with the interest rates and stuff, if they need to release something for them, rather than just a individual home that anyone can go and buy for their family residence, for buy to let, for whatever, you can just go and put that on the market and kind of get the current rate. If you've got blocks of apartments, you're going to have to sell them off market. You're going to have to sell them fast. You're going to have to sell them at a discounted rate because you're only selling that onto another investor. So you're getting good prices. Like we've bought, you know, we're looking to refinance that one at 600k and we've bought them for 400. We're going to be about 450 all in. So if we can refinance about 600 just over, draw us all the money out, holds on to 5 apartments and then sort of on to the next one. So, but I wouldn't start necessarily on that if
you started on it.
Yeah, but then do you know what I mean? I understand. I'm in property. I've got a building company anyway myself. So it's for me, I just think keep it simple. I think JVs are good. If you've got money, just team up with someone that's
got experience.
And
how much do you think someone deserves on like a JV?
It's 50-50 usually the agreement.
It depends. Yeah, if you're doing a JV, so if it depends which side of the table you are. For example, when I start to try to raise money, I'll just do percentage interest, so like 10% a year, 10% on their money. Yeah. Or you could do like 1% a month, so like up to 12%.
You want the knowledge in it, really.
If you're doing a deal, then
I just want to, like, for me, I think if I was doing it, like, I would just want to like joint venture with someone and then just fucking let them do it and just like I didn't touch it. Like, I would rather just kind of like provide the money in a sense and then just kind of like not really fuck with it from there, because I feel like I would obviously like to know. I'd like something that I'd like to understand from like a hobby side of things. But like realistically, from my position now, I'd probably be thinking like, don't want to get, like you said, don't want to get distracted. I just need to focus on what I've got going now and like them brands. But then I also want to invest like for the future and like don't want to just fucking spend all my money.
How many business partners have you got?
Loads, mate. Which I think this is my one thing I've come to learn over the time, mate, is every new business partner you've got, you fucking rolling dice. unless you know them extremely well, even then you're still rolling the dice for them. Still rolling the dice every fucking time, mate. And I think that is from a business mentor that I had. He said, you know, your biggest thing that's gonna fuck you all up, mate, is each other and like other people like coming in and like.
How many people run CCN?
So CCN is only ran by. So on the sheets there's 5 people.
Wow.
But it's running like a bit of like a mad way. But like the people who run it, realistically, there's one lad who works for us called Max who's not on the books, but he's like someone in our like inner circle who is like very he's like the financial guy. He like deals with all the tax, everyone's pay, all the fucking cash flow, profit and loss, fucking all that shit. Like he's just like a bit of like an economical wizard. So he deals with all that side, and then the actual involved in the running is just me and another lad called Tom, realistically. And me and him just like run it realistically. But CCN's very like, we've done very well to like put good people in place on CCN to make the business like run itself. But one thing we've not really done is like automated marketing. Like not automated, but like put people in place to like market it. Because marketing's very hard. Like it's the hardest thing in my opinion. Like if you can market something really well, you don't even necessarily need good of a product. But if you've got an amazing product, then it makes marketing easier. But like marketing's the hardest thing.
What
like,
marketing do you do for CCN?
CCN's all organic.
Really?
It's just all like in the past we've done like influencer marketing, and that's probably like what really boomed it off. Then we just did like short form and YouTube. We did a YouTube channel for like a year or 2, which I also regret stopping that because it's very like it was like almost like a vlog YouTube channel.
Are you trying to figure out how to monetize?
Do you know? I just had a good idea that you could maybe consider before I forget it. You should reach out to this is what. When I've mentored people from the personal shopping, when I was doing that and then I stopped, this is what I've said to people that get started, that fully want to do it. I say, because they all want to just go straight to selling the high-end LV and so on. I will send your app, CCN, and I say, look, join this. It's however much it is. And I say, if you're trying to do it, to stop getting in your head that you need to go straight to the top products. I said, you're just going to get... you're not going to be motivated enough. There's all these resellers and the people that don't pay for mentorships don't have a clue what's going on. They go for a year and they're still making no money. Yeah. And I say, look, the point is you need to be making money, right? So I said, use this as a core, as a basis, right? So you can be reselling things that aren't necessarily all the LV, the Gucci, the Prada, etc. Use this, make a basis level, because people they always say to me that they want to quit their job and stuff. I say, look, build this up, earn yourself £1,000, £2,000 a month here. And at the same time, you can then be trying to build up your page, build up your social media following, and you're going to have motivation because you're making money. It's going to get you to a stage.
Pause the podcast there to give a massive shout out to our sponsor, the Manifestation app, by Robert Heisey, the UK's #1 unconscious mind therapist. Now, this app is an absolute must for anyone that's looking for further success in their life. It covers a whole range of things from meditations, calm stories, unconscious mind therapy, journaling, mood tracking, affirmations, the list goes on. It's an incredible app. It's got an incredible community within the app that you can connect with other like-minded people. And we actually have a code, TMC Manifest, for 25% off of your first month. So go check it out. It's on the App Store, the Manifestation app. Back to the podcast.
We never before would like push people onto the next level. We would never like upsell people into like buying and growing and scaling the businesses. But now like we do that. Like now we sell people into other things they can do. For example, the furniture flipping, which you can make a hell of a lot more money from, but it's more hard work. We'll upsell people into that.
Is that an add-on to the?
Well, it's just an upsell. So it's like that's like a brand who's like, so Tom Flips has like joined our ecosystem now, and then he will like, obviously CCM members, we will like promote. We'll show them about him. And they will then upsell into his product.
People you've already got the easiest to sell to, man. Like, your customers
100%, mate. They already trust you in it. Like
it's evolution. You got to think these people probably like, because we got into it, but then we had to get out of it because like we're running businesses. Like evolution, right? It's good for when you've got time on your hands, but then it does get time consuming and you've got stuff gets in the way. So you got to think these people are going to stop doing it because of time, what else could they do that would be more sustainable in it long term?
100%. And I think and then we'll like upsell people into like, you know, Amazon FBA from CCN, and then like, you know, CCN gets the money back from like doing that, and it grows CCN as a business. So I think CCN, one idea we've kind of like toyed with is like CCN is like the start. Like I mentioned before, it's a very beginner side hustle. Everyone joins CCN, they make money, and then they want to continue to grow, and they just grow from there into like all these other products, and that would what will like. And I think, you know, when you mentioned before that word, your CCN going, I think that's the direction that it's going down. It's going down that kind of idea of like, you know, people join it as a beginner side hustle, but then they want to continue that. They might want to go into property, they might want to do Amazon FBA, they might want to do furniture flipping.
Even property, like you could partner up with so many different people with different things, because like you partner up with someone who does good property, and okay, well, now we're doing property, like a property venture.
Yeah,
now suddenly they're
you
paying
could
more
turn it into
PlayStation to flipping
A
houses.
good person for you to speak to, I can connect you actually, is Corin for Jackson High and Boutique, because he does joint ventures with investors and people.
Yeah.
And he's a sound guy as well. Like if you want
We got
anything about the
mentored
property,
About property.
Yeah.
For our rent
For
to
the
rent.
Airbnb.
But we always get mentored. I know earlier you said that you had a mentor. Did you do that before you made the big money, or was that after?
Well after. Well, I suppose we had like TG at the start, who was like, but if you're watching this, mate, fucking, not that you don't know, fucking, he's a, don't get me wrong, he's a fucking sick guy and he's a churner, but like, for him, he didn't know the niche stuff. He just had a YouTube channel, and he was just motivated and committed, and he's a fucking king churner, mate. And it's just like, he motivated us in that sense, and he mentored us in that sense of just being a churner, just being someone who just fucking whacks it, and like believing in yourself and believing like what's possible. So like, he was probably like the first mentor we had. Then we had another guy called, I reckon, but you could, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't have necessarily the biggest connection with this guy. I didn't really deal with him, but like one of the mentors lads probably had is like a guy called Aaron, and he was just like a marketing agency.
Aaron Branch.
No, not him. Nah, but yeah, he was a bit of like a mentor to them lads as well, a little bit. I'd say there's like, you know, people who have like marketing agencies can often be like decent like mentors in a sense, even though we wasn't necessarily paying for him. I would still probably consider him like, he definitely give us a lot of advice. Then we had this other guy called John, who was like, he took Grenade from like making like, I can't remember how much it was, like $1 million to making like 25 million a year. Then the guy sold it, and he's the best mentor we've had, I'd say. He was fucking sick guy, proper, just like, he just been in the business game for a long time, and he just knew a lot of stuff, and he was the one who was like, you should be selling courses, you should be like doing all this.
That's what you needed, because like at your age, like 20 whatever or 19 whatever you was, and bang, and you know, you're getting hundreds of thousands of pounds. Like,
yeah,
right, we need coaching.
100%. So he mentored us for a bit, but this was all like, well, to be fair, John, we actually paid him directly for like consultation, which was basically just fucking mentoring, like, you know, a month. Like, we just speak to him on calls, and we talk, and he would just talk to us about stuff. Like, we didn't even know that emails is like one of the best ways to like make like market your business. He was like, you know, like every single client that I've got, like, just basically like, he was just kept banging on us like, you need to be doing emails, blah blah blah. Like, you know what I mean? And just like telling us basic stuff like that. And he was a very good guy. Then from there, at the moment, I work with this guy called George. He's a younger lad. He's probably similar age to you boys. He's like, you know, he's just a mega fucking, he used to work for like IBM and shit, and like this like Russian company, like he basically, his job before this was like making factories. Like, he worked for this Russian company. He would go to a factory, he would just make a fat factory, churn the fucking living shit out of it, then move on. And he's like a marketing kind of guy now, but he's a good mentor as well, in a sense. But yeah, what about you boys? Did you have like, obviously you learned from my man. How much did you buy a course off it?
We had Corin, we bought the course for him. I mean, everything we do, we buy mentorships.
Yeah.
Like this podcast, we got mentored by James.
James Burt.
Yeah.
We wouldn't
he
be
put it together
where we
for
are
us.
today without
You got Aaron
mentors.
Branch for your marketing.
Yeah, we've also paid like 12 grand for an NLP course, which is neuro-linguistic programming, from a guy called Steve Duran, who's also involved in property. Very good sales guy. And that was so good, we actually rehired him to come into our business like 1 day per month on a retainer, just to help us with sales training and stuff. We've probably spent, marketing side alone, we've probably spent 25, 30k on just mentorships, I'd say.
It's always
Maybe
been worth
more.
it, man. Yeah, sick.
I do think it's worth
Yeah,
it.
make more money from
Definitely
from it.
worth it.
100%. I want to do more. But I don't necessarily know who to go to. Like, I'm not. There's no one really in my sights at the moment that I'm really thinking.
I feel like you need a
Depends
life
what you need.
mentor as well.
Probably, mate.
'Cause you can like, yeah, you can get obviously life coaches and business coaches and
Yeah, there's loads of stuff now, but I think it's essential though, and I feel like before, like you probably like you know your family would have done this to you, like your dad. If you had a really good dad, then you would probably be like really successful because your dad like mentors you, like how to fucking speak to people, like even like manners and shit, bro. When I was growing up, I didn't really have any manners like whatsoever, even style and stuff. But it's like shit like that I'd like to get. You know what I mean? Like, and I have another friend who works with like he's like he's like an AD for Rolex and shit, and he's like he's had like mad training in like etiquette and shit. You know what I mean? Like how to sit at a dinner like a fucking G.
Really?
And like, you know, using knife and fork and like fucking all that shit. Like, but like an exceptional level. Just mad shit like that, innit? That like, I don't know. I definitely think a life coach is like.
Well, I'm with you. I'm also in the search at the moment for like a mentor or life coach. But what I will say is, in the space, I know there's some amazing coaches. There's a lot of people coaching that shouldn't be coaching.
Yeah.
Like you've got life coaches that are 22, and I'm sorry, like you don't know enough about life at 22, or even at my age at 28 to be a life coach. I want to get coaching from the guys that have done it, made mistakes, made money, lost money. You know, they're the people I want to learn from personally. So if there's any life coaches listening, hit me up.
For the listeners, what's the best place to find you, find CCN, how to sign up?
CCN, go on the App Store, search Crep Chief Notify, download the app. You basically buy on the app, or just go on our website, just type Google Crep Chief Notify, go on there, watch our like social media and that, like Instagram, TikTok. You can watch like how it works on there, like us actually doing it and showing you like what's possible. But yeah, and then Sell Circle, exact same. YouTube Sell Circle. Sell Circle's actually got like a really like decent YouTube channel that I recommend. Even if you're just interested in Amazon FBA, just go give that a watch. Just like actually like doing FBA on there.
I highly vouch for CCN, by the way.
I appreciate
I've
it.
used it. I've made money from it. So yeah, highly
Do you mind
recommend
if I
it.
sign my mum up to this? And I know that sounds random, but I'll tell you why. She used to do really well with eBay flips when I was growing up. That was like her side hustle. So she'd buy stuff at antique shows, sell it on. So she'll be good at that.
100%, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you ask him when you pick, he's going to say, no, sorry, mate, you can't sign your mum up.
Sorry, not your mum, mate.
But no, appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
no, bro,
thank you.
absolute pleasure, boys.
That's good.
Ledge, man, thank you. Now, for real though, I'm gonna